Today, I'm Ann Carrick, Fox News. Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris's running mate, Governor Tim Walz, rallying with voters today in Superior, Wisconsin. The Minnesota governor telling supporters Republican nominee Donald Trump should not be allowed to run for re-election based on his reaction to the 2020 presidential race.
There was one person on that stage that has the poise, the dignity, the foresight, and the compassion to be president of the United States, and that's Kamala Harris.
The presidential face-off between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump just a few days ago at a debate in Philadelphia, marking the first time the two met. Reaction to former President Trump traveling alongside a controversial conservative activist, Laura Loomer. Fox's Mark Meredith.
The Trump campaign facing growing questions about a woman who's been showing up a lot around the former president, and that is conservative activist Laura Loomer. She's been called a fringe conspiracy theorist because she called 9/11 an inside job, but Trump says he wants to keep her around. He posted on Truth Social, quote, "Loomer doesn't work for the campaign. She's a private citizen and longtime supporter. I disagree with the statements that she's made, but like millions of people who support me, she's tired of watching the radical left Marxists and fascists violently attack and smear me." We'll look to see if Loomer continues to show up with Trump on the trail. He is going to be back in battleground states later on this week.
Loomer appeared alongside the former president at 9/11 memorial events earlier this month. At least 15 are dead, 40 others seriously injured in Haiti after a tanker truck full of gasoline flipped and exploded. The prime minister posting the news on X, local radio reporting 17 dead. Fighting between gangs making importing supplies difficult, leaving hospitals poorly equipped to treat severe burn victims. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcast Network.
I'm Emily Campagno, and this is the Fox True Crime Podcast.
And I had nothing to do with her disappearance, but people still accuse me of it.
I sit down with the people who lived the nightmares.
I was in shock. I was just devastated.
The investigators who tirelessly worked on the case.
I feel for their families, and I really hope that they can catch this guy.
Bringing you closer to the story than you ever thought possible.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you get your podcasts. Get all of your favorite Fox News podcasts commercial-free on Apple Podcasts with Fox News Podcasts Plus. From Dana Perino, Kennedy, Ben Domenech, The Duffys, and many more. Subscribe now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com. The Fox News Rundown, a contrast of perspectives you won't hear anywhere else. Your daily dose of news twice a day, featuring insight from top newsmakers, reporters, and Fox News contributors. Listen and subscribe now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com.
The leaders of the
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Shootings in the Circle City. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending this hour. Indy Metro Police are investigating multiple believed shootings that occurred Friday night and Saturday morning in the Circle City. Officers say injured people were found on Egret Lane, East Washington Street, Black Knight Boulevard, North Sherman Drive, and Warrior Trail, and at Methodist Hospital Friday night. A gunshot victim apparently walked into Community North Hospital early Saturday morning, and officers say another person shot on East Washington Street was pronounced dead around 6:20 a.m. But a middle school custodian from Terre Haute has advanced to the finals of America's Got Talent. Richard Goodall sang this at his audition. His performance currently has 24 million views on YouTube. AGT Finals performances will air Tuesday on NBC, with a winner being named on September 24th. And singer-songwriter John Legend is speaking out against those who have made controversial remarks about Haitian immigrants in his hometown of Springfield, Ohio. During the presidential debate last Tuesday, former President Donald Trump claimed Haitian immigrants have taken over the city and are eating people's dogs and cats. City officials have said those claims are unfounded. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Once again, high temperatures climbing in the mid to upper 80s. A prolonged dry stretch is likely. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Fox, CNN, other news sources are reporting home prices are expected to decline into 2025, even after the election. Maximize your home sales price now before this downturn with the agent proven to sell for top dollar, Mark Dietel. Maybe you want to maximize equity from your home, but not sure how. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Mitch from Martinsville had to say about working with Mark Dietel. My home was getting too big for me, so I was looking to downsize. After hearing about Mark Dietel on the radio, I decided he was the right choice. Mark was fantastic. He was able to get multiple offers within 48 hours and closed in 30 days. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Reach your fitness goals in 2024 with the 20-minute once-a-week program at Exercise Inc. 5 locations now in Fishers. Visit exerciseinc.com.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at GotYour6.org.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back, Indianapolis, to another edition of Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher, producer Jack on the board, beep, 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 pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. This was the week of the debates. Harris versus Trump, the only one we might have, and if Trump is wise, certainly that will be the case. It was interesting to witness, especially because the general consensus seemed to be that Trump either tied or lost the debate. When I thought he performed his adequate Trumpiest, I don't always know what people want out of this guy. Like, to me, he gave a lot of the same performances and hit a lot of the same notes that he's been doing since 2016, and that hasn't always been my cup of tea, but it's resonated with the voters, right? So he goes up there and he does it again, and suddenly, there's this tepid, lukewarm reception. I don't know what to do with you people. I attended the WIBC debate night over at the Wabash Event Center. That was pretty fun. I didn't see you at the event center, but did you get to watch the debate overall there, producer Jack?
I didn't watch it, but I mean, I heard my dad yelling and screaming at the TV.
Oh, there was lots of yelling and screaming that was going on at the Wabash Event Center, to be sure. Now, I thought Trump, again, did pretty decent, but I'm not sure overall there was a lot to be gained or to be lost from the debate, no matter what the consensus is, because I did a Twitter poll shortly after the debate night and asked the general audience, did this change the way that you intend to vote? And by far, the overwhelming 90% answer was no. This didn't change the way that they intended to vote, whether it be for Trump or whether it be for Harris, and I think that remains the case. Now, Kamala Harris did a lot of projecting. She was trying to act like Donald Trump was the incumbent and, make these scary forecasts that he would weaponize the Justice Department, when that's what the Biden administration has been doing against Trump the whole time.
Well, let's talk about extreme and understand the context in which this election in 2024 is taking place. The United States Supreme Court recently ruled that the former president would essentially be immune from any misconduct if he were to enter the White House again.
Liar! What a whopper.
Understand, this is someone who has openly said he would terminate, I'm quoting, terminate the Constitution of the United States, that he would weaponize the Department of Justice against his political enemies. Someone who has openly expressed disdain for members of our military. Understand what it would mean if Donald Trump were back in the White House with no guardrails, because certainly we know now the court won't stop him. We know J.D. Vance is not going to stop him. It's up to the American people
Vice President
to stop
him. What a sick joke! I should have stopped him when I had the chance. And you have to stop him.
So she had her own Chuck moment from Better Call Saul where she loses her composure. You have to stop him. He's this threat to democracy, which is a joke because, of course, they're the ones who have been weaponizing the Justice Department against Donald. Those 34 felony counts that had to be manufactured from nothing in New York, or what about the charges that have now had to be dropped, some of them in the Georgia case because they overcharged, or the Florida case, which now looks to be on the rocks. Like at every twist and turn, they are throwing everything they got at Donald Trump and nothing seems to stick. And now she's terrified that he will do the same thing that they have done to him. And it's also a joke that they say she lied there when she said that the Supreme Court gave Donald Trump blanket immunity, because no sooner did that put a wrench in their one case, they refiled charges to make it acceptable and to go move forward. So nothing. Donald Trump did not get immunity. The only immunity that they declared was rightfully for presidential acts, which is already covered under the Constitution. They made a very straight line ruling, and Donald Trump correctly pointed out that they are the ones projecting this.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
We have a lot to get to. Lindsay? I've contained my rage for as long as possible, but I shall unleash my fury upon you like the crashing of 1,000 waves. Begone, vile man, begone from me. I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds.
And let's not forget the ultimate point, which he also solidly landed, that it's Kamala Harris who's the threat to democracy, who's totally upended the democratic process. How has she found herself to be the presidential nominee without getting a single primary vote? Isn't that incredible? There's the threat.
You talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her. But he got 14 million votes. They threw him out. She got 0 votes. And when she ran, she was the first one to leave because she failed. And now she's running. I don't understand it, but I'm okay with it because
your time is
I think we're going to do very well.
We've got a lot more to get.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
And I think, at the time, I kind of chuckled at that line, he hates her, like, that's a little far-fetched. That may be more accurate than I originally gave it credit before, because, of course, this week, we also saw the president, for the first time ever in my memory, I never thought this would happen, he donned a Trump hat, a Trump 2024 cap at the 9/11 event in Pennsylvania. That was really interesting. I'll bet Biden is royally pissed that they forced him out. They strong-armed him. They did an inside coup and got him to step down just so they could put this schmuck up as a replacement. You better believe I think that was 100% intentional, and maybe Donald Trump was more correct than anyone wanted to give him credit for when he said that Joe Biden, there's a little animosity there for what went down. And he also got he made an excellent point that should be reiterated. Kamala Harris is not ultimately different than Joe Biden. They are one and the same. All of the reasons that you had to vote against Joe Biden, the failing economy, the deteriorating border, the increased crime, the inflation, out of control inflation, et cetera, are identical reasons not to vote for Kamala Harris. And he made that point effectively.
And remember this. She is Biden. She's trying to get away from Biden. I don't know the gentleman, she says. She is Biden. The worst inflation we've ever had, a horrible economy because inflation has made it so bad, and she can't get away with that.
Thank you. Time is up.
I want to respond to that, though. I want to just respond briefly. Clearly, I am not Joe Biden, and I am certainly not Donald Trump. And what I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism about what we can do instead of always disparaging the American people.
I think I can smell shite. Yes, I can definitely smell shite.
See, she's projecting again because she's trying to say that Donald Trump somehow disparages the American people when it's the Democrats who routinely call you racist and bigoted and phobic and this, that, and the other if you don't support their political views. So, there again, lots of projection coming from Kamala Harris. And he did get one spectacular debate jab in when he turned the tables on Kamala Harris, stealing her line from the Pence-Harris debate in 2020.
Fracking? She's been against it for 12 years. Defund the police? She's been against that forever. She gave all that stuff up very wrongly, very horribly, and everybody's laughing at it, okay? They're all laughing at it. She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out, wait a minute, I'm talking now. You don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Well. How the turntables.
So, do you agree, producer Jack, that, whether you like his debate style or whether you don't like his debate style, does this not seem largely how Trump has performed every moment he's been in the political spotlight since 2016?
Yeah, this doesn't really surprise me.
Right. So the idea that he somehow lost the debate or tied, or he had a disappointing performance, what do you people want? What do you people want out of Donald Trump? I'm just, it's so puzzling. At least he closed the debate very effectively. And this, I thought, was a point that he really should have led with, which is Kamala Harris is promising change. She's promising, a vision of leadership, but she's acting like Donald Trump is the incumbent. She's the vice president that's currently occupying the White House. If she wanted to, she could work with the sitting president, Joe Biden, and the legislature to accomplish whatever she wants. She doesn't have to wait until the vote.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it, and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack, we're not going to take fossil fuel, we're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision.
It is crazy. We say to give a woman power is like to give a gun to a monkey. We have stopped doing that ever since the 1999 Astana Zoo massacre.
Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. We went a little long this segment, but that was important to cover what I thought were important highlights from the Trump-Harris debate. Up next, we're going to talk a little bit about Joe Hogsett, of course, what he was involved in last weekend, what happened on Monday night, and then finally the announcement he's made in light of all of that. Don't miss it. Up next on Saturday Night on The Circle.
Kendall and Casey.
Hours upon hours of them telling you how great Joe Biden is, then telling you in the same speeches how screwed up things are in the country. How can both of these things be true?
Yes, we love you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. You've done so much for the country. Now get out.
Kendall and Casey, weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, over 3 million people called Morgan & Morgan in their time of need. And with over 1 million of those calls coming from previous clients, friends, and family.
My name is Jason Williams. It was a rainy day, and I got hit from behind by a lady that was doing somewhere over 100 miles an hour is what they were saying. I've never dealt with anything like this before. Everybody that I talked to kept saying the same name, which was Morgan & Morgan. I was on hold for maybe 15 seconds. When they come back and said, Jason, we will absolutely take your case. As a non-tech savvy guy, any question that I had, if I called, text, or emailed, they got right back to me. They made it as easy for me as it could have been.
Thank you for trusting us. We've become the largest injury firm in the world because we've won a lot. The word is out. Size matters. Reputation matters. We're America's largest injury law firm for a reason. With over 900 dedicated attorneys and climbing, we're ready wherever you are, whatever you need. The choice is easy. We're just a phone call away. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is your place for fine jewelry, custom pieces, one-of-a-kind pieces, vintage pieces, and also your place to sell jewelry. 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms. You have old jewelry from grandma or jewelry you don't wear anymore? Come sell it for top dollar at PA Jewelers. I've sold jewelry there. My wife has. You're going to love the prices. PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, premierarms.com.
Just because teens are tech savvy doesn't mean they're tech safe. They're facing increasing risks online from inappropriate content, bullies, even predators. Encourage the teens in your life to come to you whenever someone or something makes them uncomfortable online. Visit on.in.gov/ICAC to make sure your teens are tech safe. A message from the Indiana Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, sponsored by the Indiana State Police.
Barrington Jewels believes in the timeless value of exquisite craftsmanship. Discover stunning collections for engagements, weddings, and more. Whether you're looking for the perfect diamond or a unique pre-owned piece, the expert staff at Barrington Jewels is here to guide you. Visit today to find the jewelry that will last a lifetime. Visit Barrington Jewels today or shop online at barringtonjewels.com. And remember, you haven't seen a diamond until you've seen a Barrington diamond.
Shh. The silence you just heard? You could have used that space to reach your customers. Get your message in front of your customers. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. Being from Oklahoma, I know a thing or two about natural disasters. Tornadoes are common where I'm from and have affected my life and the lives of people I care about. No matter where you live, be aware of the dangers in your area and have a plan. You can create an emergency kit, come up with an evacuation plan, and know where to seek shelter. You never know when a disaster may hit. These simple steps can help save a life. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
It's JMV. Save 30% off herbaceous perennials, 50% off pottery, and 20% off patio furniture this week at Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 in Bargersville.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIPC.
I'll tell you what, Jack, the animals had it right. We do got to get out of this place. I am sick of living in Marion County. Sick and damn tired. I've been here since about 2016 now, 2015. I'm living in the city, and it's let's just say there's room for improvement, and the gaps can be filled in the 20-plus bullet holes in the front of my house. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, by now, everyone has heard Joe Hogsett seemingly losing control at an event last Saturday. This was unfolding while I was on the air, where Joe Hogsett appeared to be under the influence of something. I mean, that's the problem, Jack. Without doing a blood draw on a toxicology panel, it's really hard to say what exactly, but you tell me whether he sounds like a normal functioning human being in this clip.
I want you all, look, I ain't on the ballot. I ain't running for nothing. I'm running from things, but I ain't running for nothing. But I want everybody here to make sure you get registered to vote at this election in November.
How embarrassing.
get in your mouse and get out of here.
Hey, running from nothing.
Yeah, it sounds like he had like a handful of drinks before.
A handful. Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, we don't really, again, know what, other than it's been rumored for years now that Joe Hogsett has a drinking problem. In fact, it's been rumored for a long time. Of course, he was in rehab during the night of the riots during the Summer of Love here in 2020 in Marion County. And that's why, of course, he left Deputy Mayor Thomas Carl Cook, the sexual predator, in charge while he was drying up in the tank. So, yeah, it seems like that problem has reared its ugly head once again. Perhaps, we can't say again without a blood draw for sure, but the Indianapolis City Council, so spineless were they. Although they voted to move forward with an investigation, they sure didn't want to say what it looked like Joe Hogsett was doing during that event on Saturday.
You got any comment on what the mayor said over the weekend about running from things at all?
No, I didn't get the context, so I'm not going to comment on it.
What about him saying he was sort of just joking? A lot of people think it's in reference to what we're talking about tonight.
I really don't. I wasn't there, and I didn't hear what he said exactly. I never saw I read the quote, but didn't see the film, so.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
Anybody who has an active social media account and is part of Indianapolis group saw the clip. Okay, that is a poor excuse. And here was a montage of city councilors refusing to comment, this gathered by the CBS 4 crew here in Indianapolis.
Comments on what the mayor said as far as his saying that he was just joking about running from things? Nothing? Things over the weekend?
No comment.
Anything? What the mayor said over the weekend about running from things?
Let me just do this. We are starting late. I'll come back and talk with you guys when I...
I'm not in the business of speculating on what people say. I frankly didn't understand what he was saying. I didn't understand what he meant by that. My understanding is that he has put a release out saying that he was joking. I won't speculate. If he says he's joking, then I guess he was joking.
I wish I had enough poison for the whole pack of you. I would gladly give my life to watch you all swallow it.
These people are utterly shameless. They don't have an ounce of principle nor a shred of testicular fortitude to stand up and say the plainly obvious. Joe Hogsett appeared to be intoxicated or otherwise indisposed, not fit to lead the city after a series of scandalous revelations, and should resign immediately. The only person calling for that is my District 13 council member, Jesse Brown, the socialist of Indianapolis. And even when this political boondoggle has unfolded and presented itself as a golden opportunity for Republicans in the city of Indianapolis, nothing. We get nothing out of these people. And that's why the Marion County GOP deserves to lose. If you can't capitalize on this, then you knuckleheads are worthless. And there was only one council member that I caught in the montage that was even willing to say tepidly, or at least lukewarmly, thank you, that, more questions should be asked, obviously.
I definitely like to know what he meant by that, because that was something that was just distasteful, and it really goes to show where his head's at with this whole issue and this whole systemic issue of this harassment that he's allowed to go on in the city for so long.
What do you think about saying it was a joke, that he was just joking about it?
That's an easy out. And, either way, you shouldn't be joking about this. This is not a joking matter. It's not a laughing matter.
You can't keep getting away with it! You can't keep getting away with it!
But the sad thing is, it looks like Joe Hogsett most likely will continue to elude accountability, especially because the counselors aren't willing to press the issue, and now they're even calling into question whether or not these women should be believed, like they have to do an outside investigation to investigate the investigation that happened in 2017. This is a little suspect. I mean, either you believe the women or you don't. Is there some reason why their tale should be treated with a degree of skepticism. It didn't seem so. They kept the receipts. That was a fairly compelling piece that was released by both the Indy Star and Mirror Indy, but the Indianapolis City Council taking a more cautious approach, and that caution, that overabundance of caution and confidentiality has the convenient side effect, the byproduct of shielding Joe Hogsett from further accountability, which is why he announced to the press this week flippantly he's not releasing any of the documents from the 2017 investigation, which he claims took place.
To provide you the documents would undermine the very purpose of why we are gathered here today. In other words, every employee in the city of Indianapolis needs to be assured that if they have a complaint, that it is confidential, it can be anonymous, it will be investigated, and if shown to be actionable, sanctions will be taken.
Am I evil? Am I like an evil person? Oh my God. I mean, absolutely. Do I not tell you that enough? You are like the most evil guy I know, man.
Why should anyone believe Joe Hogsett? And why would anyone believe that sanctions would take place when it took at least until 2020 for him to be dismissed or 2021 for him to be dismissed in his official capacity as deputy mayor, and then he was brought back to advise on the campaign in 2023. So no, I don't think that anybody should take Joe Hogsett seriously, and it is a sad indictment of the lack of leadership in the city of Indianapolis and by the city council that more hasn't been done to investigate and to repudiate Joe Hogsett's bad behavior and the culture of abuse that has been allowed to fester within the city council building and the Democratic Party at large. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. Stay tuned for more. Coming up next, we're going to go through the blow-by-blow of the Joe Biden interaction there in Pennsylvania, where he put on the Trump hat. Stay tuned for that. Coming up next.
Hammer and Nigel.
In Detroit, Kamala rolls out this bizarre accent.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave.
I would love it if that's how she talked in meetings. Kamala Harris goes up there sounding like Foghorn Leghorn. I'll say, somebody better turn the Fox News off the television.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIPC and WIPC.com.
Hey, what's up? Hammer and Nigel here. We are both customers of Window Nation. Window Nation came out to the Hammer House. They measured everything multiple times. They got it right the first time. They were in, they were out, and now my house looks amazing, and my heating and air bill has gone down because of my awesome energy-efficient windows.
Yeah, Hammer, I had the same experience. Hey, you could buy 2 windows, get 2 free with 0 down and no interest for 24 months. 866-90Nation or windownation.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-791-1313. That's 800-791-1313.
Paid for by Wesley Financial Group.
When it's time to renovate, it's time to call Booher. BOOHER, BooherRemodeling.com, because it's about the process. It's about dealing with professionals who are with you every step of the way, communicating how things work. The best craftsmen and professionals who have been doing kitchens and bathrooms in Indianapolis for 2 decades. Talk to Booher Remodeling today about how they work and why it will work for you and your new kitchen. Call 317-852-5546, 852-5546, or online at Booher, BOOHER, BooherRemodeling.com.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Miss M's Home and Garden, Johnson County's Fall Nursery headquarters.
Fox News, I'm Deborah Valentine. Democratic vice presidential pick Governor Tim Walz campaigning in Superior, Wisconsin, saying Republican nominee and former President Trump shouldn't be allowed to run for a second term due to unrest at the Capitol on January 6th.
He lost the election. He's trying to lie about it, and he will do so again.
Trump acquitted of an impeachment charge that he indicted a mob to storm the U.S. Capitol to overturn election results. Women protesters in the Iranian capital of Tehran commemorating the second anniversary of the death of 22-year-old Mahsa Amini. Demonstrators say she died from a beating by police for not wearing a head covering in public. Iranian authorities claim Amini died because of a heart attack. America's listening to Fox News.
Whether it's the good food or the friendly mood, you can count on Indiana to never lose when it comes to tailgating. And we want to see you at every game. That's why Hubler's got you covered with the best warranty around. So kick off the season in a Hubler quality pre-owned vehicle. Choose from over 2,000 Chevys, Fords, GMCs, Buicks, Nissans, Acuras, Mazdas, Hondas, and many more. All makes and models. Certified. Luxury. Even the hard-to-find ones. Every Hubler Q-certified vehicle is covered by a 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and includes a 128-point vehicle inspection, plus a free Carfax history report. Keep the tradition alive, knowing Hubler's got you covered for 100,000 miles.
Hubler's got you covered.
Visit drivehubler.com or any of our 12 locations.
Cover me!
Warranty on select models less than 9 years old.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
I think it's time to blow this scene. Get everybody in the stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Time to put on your PPE, jump through the decontamination spray, and let's frolic through the radioactive wasteland of news. This week came a moment nobody expected when Joe Biden seemed to go rogue, donning a Trump 2024 cap at a 9/11 event. You'll hear the full audio. VP nominee Tim Walz made a telling slip at a rally in Michigan just days after an unearthed clip showed Kamala Harris courting Willie Brown before her meteoric rise through politics. Finally, you'll hear Kamala wholeheartedly embrace transitioning criminals on taxpayer dime. All for this week's edition of The Sound Dump.
I'll take you for a ride. I'm a garbage truck.
It's the Saturday Night Sound Dump on 93 WIBC.
I take you to the dump. I show you the sights, you know you wanna ride. I'm a garbage truck.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your Bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher, producer Jack on the board, beep, 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 pushing the buttons and doing everything to make the show function. Find the podcasts uploaded to Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm as well as WIABC.com. Now, producer Jack, have you seen the photos floating around of Joe Biden at this event and shortly thereafter taking the MAGA hat with him, the old famous red cap?
No, I haven't. I'm just hearing this now.
You're just hearing this for the first time. It's already gone viral, and I don't blame people for taking note of this. This was pretty interesting. Check out the interaction, the audio play between Joe Biden and this guy at the Pennsylvania event.
Trump hat, I'll give him my presidential hat. Presidential seal on it. You want to autograph it? Oh, sure, I'll autograph it. Huh? Yeah. You remember your name? I don't remember my name. I'm slow. You're an old fart. Yeah, I know, man. I'm an old guy. And you're an old fart, right? I know you would know about that. What? About being old. Oh, I know. All right. I'm a young timer. You remind me of the guys I grew up with. There's always one in the neighborhood. Well, I'm the only one. There you go, man. I need that hat. Want my autograph? Hell no. You know my name. Come on. I ain't going that far. Yeah. Let's do a selfie. There you go. Yeah.
So he puts it on.
Hey, I'm proud of you now. Just remember, no eating dogs and cats. Hey, they're good. Thank you. They're good. Kentucky Fried Chicken. I hope you like the pizza.
Is this based Biden? Is this based Biden coming out of the woodwork? He's putting on the Trump hat. He's joking about people not eating dogs and cats. Where has this Biden been for the last 3.5 years? He seems almost affable. Producer Jack.
I'll just say I haven't heard him like talk like this before.
Well, all the pressure's been taken off of him, I guess, and I think there might be something that Trump was saying during the debate, that there must be a level of animosity between him and Kamala Harris. And he might not say it out loud, but you can't tell me that he would be ignorant of the optics that would be surrounding putting on a Trump hat. And then he kept it.
There's a little more to the story. I was struck by this sentence in the BBC, Emily. It said the daughter of the man who swapped hats with the president said Biden kept the Trump hat. After the interaction, she said that her father ended up getting another cap from the Trump campaign after they reached out. So he kept the hat? I mean, does he have it by his bedside in the White House?
I don't know. It's so weird to me.
Weird. Little weird. Slightly crazy.
And it was verified because they pictured old man Biden carrying the hat up the short stairs on Air Force One. So it happened.
That could have been sold for a lot of money on eBay or something, probably.
Yeah, I'll bet it could. Maybe we'll see it. Maybe we'll see a resurgence of the Biden Trump hat one day. That'll be interesting. Tim Walz, VP nominee for Kamala Harris, made an interesting mix-up, slip-up while he was at an event in Michigan, verbal faux pas, if you will, that hits rather close to an uncomfortable issue for Kamala Harris.
Because this started, and I love this story, as a young prosecutor.
Oops.
Kamala Harris talked about going in that courtroom for the first time.
Come again? A young prostituter? That might not be what he meant to say, but
yeah, I don't know if he like continued like he didn't say that to like not bring attention to it.
Oh yeah, no, he continued, and that's usually the correct speech making procedure is just not to acknowledge it, and move on. Because if you draw attention to it, then people will focus on it. But we live in a digital age, so it's hard to avoid that. Now, why that's funny, of course, is because the Kamala Harris campaign has long denied her association with Willie Brown, who was the Speaker of the House in California in the 1990s when she was a young, up-and-coming prosecutor, 29, and this kind of preceded her meteoric rise through politics as she is courting this very influential man in California politics. And what's more interesting is ABC dropped this unearthed clip of her at the right-hand side of Willie Brown years ago. Again, something that she, continues to deny.
He's a rogue, all right, notorious for his flamboyant lifestyle. Flashy clothes, fancy parties, fine women, and fast cars.
You should from now on address me as the mayor.
If ever a man and a municipality were made for each other, it is this man, this place.
So the thing about that, and the reason why producer Jack, they were asking like, oh, are you his daughter? As you could imagine, they're a little bit of age difference, which, hey, look, consenting adults are free to do what they wish. Some may question whether there was truly a romantic connection between a 60-year-old, 61-year-old, and a 29-year-old, or maybe something else was being leveraged. A transaction, if you will, was being made. Those are speculation only, of course, and speculation that the Kamala Harris campaign, of course, vigorously denies, as vigorously as they have denied supporting fracking bans, which they absolutely have, or things like transitioning surgery for transgender prisoners. Imagine, producer Jack, putting taxpayers on the hook for transitioning surgery for violent offenders. But that is what Kamala Harris thinks is the kind and compassionate course of action.
They were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a Department of Corrections.
Stop it, please, I beg you! It's a sin! It's a sin! It's a sin!
I mean, you heard it there in no uncertain terms. She wants to provide taxpayer-funded transitioning services for inmates in prison. It was something she thought was very important to press for.
Well, excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Yes, we know. We hear you back there. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. One more segment to go in hour one. Stay tuned. Coming up next, we'll talk about an interesting relationship failure. Let's phrase it that way. Stay tuned for that up next.
This could be one of the most consequential votes of our lifetime.
Who will be our next governor?
U.S. Senator.
Our next president. Who will represent us in the General Assembly?
You have a voice with your one vote.
Unhappy with the current state of affairs? You can do something about it.
Voting is one of our most important rights as Americans.
It's how you can stand up for your beliefs,
your values,
and for future generations.
A reminder to make your vote count on November 5th.
November 5th.
November 5th.
From WIBC
and Urban One.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone.
Done.
By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Everyone is talking about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation. Like your neighbor Dennis.
In the process of refinishing my garage and, trying to turn it into a man cave. So I started searching, online, and I ran across Galaxy.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings is not epoxy. It's better.
First thing I wanted to do initially is I wanted to repair where the concrete had eroded. They said they could do that. I said, well, heck, let me go ahead and get the entire floor covered.
Commercial or residential, 4 times stronger than epoxy, and it comes with a 15-year warranty.
They were so courteous and respectful of the home and the property. And when they're done, they cleaned up, picked up, swept up. It was like they were never there.
Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com now. That's Galaxy Concrete Coatings. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. We're out of this world.
I would recommend Galaxy over any other competitor, hands down. You're going to be taken care of and you're going to be satisfied. These guys know what they're doing.
Hi, my name is Carter Booker, and I'm a member of Tabernacle Presbyterian Church. I came to TAB over 15 years ago looking for a group of people who took seriously the teachings of Jesus, especially the teaching that we should love our neighbors as ourselves. What did I find? I found a community giving their resources to support a local school, to strengthen the health and well-being of a neighborhood, to mentor and guide young people through athletics, and the list could go on and on. If you believe it is important to love your neighbor, then TAB is the place for you. I'm Carter Booker, and I invite you to come and see for yourself.
Tabernacle Presbyterian Church, 34th Street and Central Avenue in Indianapolis, invites you to worship Sunday morning at 8 or 10 a.m. If you can't make it in person, tune in to Sunday with Tab, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WIBC, or find us online at tabpres.org.
Hi, I'm Mark Turney, a retired Army First Sergeant with over 25 years of service. I get my health care at Veteran Health Indiana and couldn't be happier. Learn about the benefits that we have all earned for our service. By joining the VA, you are supporting all our brothers and sisters who need our support.
Did you serve in the U.S. military? You need to learn about the veterans' health benefits that could be available to you. Visit vacares.us. That's vacares.us.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Head to the contest page at WIBC.com and enter for your chance to win 2 tickets to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra Thursday, December 19th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
More info online at WIBC.com.
When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on. But don't think twice, it's all right.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, it seems like divorce is on the rise. The nuclear family has been fractured, and traditional relationships have been irrevocably altered by the landscape of social media dating. But imagine what a miserable cow you must be and a failure as a human being. That's right, I said it. If you are so intolerable that you end up getting a divorce from yourself. What? Yes, that's right. Apparently, and I don't know how this is possible, an influencer and a Mariah Carey impersonator by the name of Sue Ellen Carey. Now, Sue Ellen sounds like a name of somebody who would marry themselves. Made headlines last year when she tied the knot in a bizarre ceremony to herself in London. Now she's ended her nearly one-year marriage, according to report. Reflecting on her decision to call it quits, Carey expressed the difficulties she faced committing to herself. Quote, "It's crucial to know when to end a cycle. Even commitment to oneself can have its challenges, such as dealing with the expectation of being perfect for yourself all the time." I just can't even with this chick, producer Jack. She can't be serious. This is all just one elaborate social media stunt, right?
Yeah.
Because she's getting double value here. She married herself, so she got all the attention from that, and then now she's divorcing herself, and she's getting all the attention from that in less than a year.
Can you marry yourself?
Well, maybe you can in London. It's what did they say? Oh, the solo marriage known as sologamy. Well, it's not monogamy, so maybe it's a sologamy. Maybe that's how you pronounce it, like monogamy, sologamy. Sounds like salami. It's got its own term. This is stupid. Yeah. We live in the most ridiculous timeline, producer Jack, truly. She realized I was putting a lot of pressure on myself, and sometimes that left me exhausted. I understood that even within a marriage to ourselves, it's important to accept our imperfections. She currently lives in London, and she went to couples therapy.
Is there a video on this?
I'm sure there is somewhere. I didn't find it, though. But producer Jack, it's in the name. Couples therapy. So is she schizophrenic? You're talking to multiple personalities in one chair? This is stupid. She said she did after 10 sessions, 10 sessions of paying a therapist. I don't think I'd be able to sit across from somebody with a straight face if they paid me to listen to them rant for 10 sessions about a marriage to themselves.
Yeah.
I tell them they're crazy. You need therapy beyond my ability to diagnose. 10 sessions of therapy, and she decided that it was time for a divorce, admitting that she at times felt lonely in her relationship. Well, there again, producer Jack, we're dealing with words and basic definitions. You got into a relationship called sologamy, solo. That's you by yourself. You're damn right. I'll bet you'll feel lonely. And now she's back on the market. She's looking for a man. What were you about to say?
Yeah, like I'm committed to myself, but I'm not married to myself.
Right. And anybody who's sane, I think, would say the same.
Yeah.
We really live in the most ridiculous timeline, producer Jack. And I'll say that was accentuated by an interaction that I had this week when I was parked stationary. I was about to do a showing for one of my properties when I saw somebody coming, and it was a few minutes after, or 10 minutes after the showing was supposed to be. So I'm like, oh, are these people showing up late? And they pulled into an alley and then backed themselves right into my stationary vehicle. And then when I called IMPD, oh yeah, it gets better, to make the accident report, IMPD showed up. They're like, yeah, everybody's okay. Oh, I see the damage there. Is the vehicle still here? Okay, cool. Why don't you guys exchange insurance information and then have a nice day. Never bothered to make the report. Never bothered to make the accident report. So, I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that, because that's kind of important for the insurance process. I mean, we can subpoena the telephone records. We can subpoena the interaction with the emergency or the non-emergency line, because I called to call them out there.
Sounds like a complicated situation.
Well, it's more complicated than it should be when all I needed was a simple report. Thank you, IMPD. Frustrating. Hour 2 of Saturday Night on The Circle coming up next. Don't miss it.
Fingers in the door jamb.
Oh, damn!
When stepping in it. And when the backup on 465 has you stuck.
Oh, Mom, just turn on the radio. Whoa. Sorry, Mom.
You know the backups and ways to avoid them. And you have no problem swearing.
Traffic makes Dad say much worse.
You'll be on time.
No surprise.
Matt Baird Traffic. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
Well, the various cable news outlets have all been reporting that home prices are expected to actually decline into 2025, even after the election. So that means you're going to want to maximize your home sales price now before this downturn, with the agent proven to sell for top dollar. That's Mark Dietel. Sarah had an investment property in Fountain Square, ran into some financial trouble and needed to unload the place fast. Hired Mark Dietel. He was able to sell the property within weeks for over list price.
Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert that we trust and recommend here on the Hammer and Nigel Show. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. You pick the move date, no long-term contracts. You can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietel today, 317-755-4232, or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com.
It's the start of our favorite season in Indy, football season. That's right. With all the hype and action this season brings, we know things can get loud and messy real quick. Before you invite your friends and family over to watch the big game, you better call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to clean up all those fumble moments in your home. Lucky for you, you can score big this month with great savings. Hi, this is Denny Smith, and you can get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $119. Take $75 off air duct cleaning too. The Zero Res service is easy to line up. You can go online at ZeroResIndy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. Don't forget the ZR Water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. Now mention WIBC, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $119, plus you'll get $75 off air duct cleaning too. 317-388-5141. That's 317-388-5141. Book online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go.
The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
White House. I'm Deborah Valentine, Fox News. Democratic Vice Presidential pick Governor Tim Walz taking a jab at Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump this afternoon while campaigning in Superior, Wisconsin. The VP pick, referring to unrest at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, saying it should disqualify Trump from running for a second White House term.
Denying the election of 2020 should disqualify you from service.
Meanwhile, President Biden and Vice President Harris are set to deliver remarks at the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation's 2024 Phoenix Awards dinner in Washington, D.C. tonight. Pope Francis is telling U.S. Catholics to do some soul searching before voting in the presidential election. Fox's Lauren Green explains.
On his return trip from Asia, the Pope spoke with journalists on the papal plane, asked which candidate Catholics should support, given the choice of one who supports abortion or one who closes borders. The Pope said both candidates oppose life. Well, number one on Trump's platform is promising to seal the border and stop the, quote, migrant invasion, and promises the largest deportation in American history if reelected president. Pope Francis said migration is a right that is in the Bible's Old Testament. And on the issue of abortion, Francis has continually reaffirmed Catholic teaching, calling it a grave evil, the killing of a human being. Kamala Harris staunchly defends abortion as a fundamental freedom.
The U.S. is home to about 52 million Catholics. Iran says it has successfully launched a satellite with a rocket built by the country's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard. There is no independent confirmation of the launch's success. The U.S. has previously said Iran's satellite launches defy a UN Security Council resolution and called on Tehran to undertake no activity involving ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear weapons. America's listening to Fox News.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
It's time to take the quiz. 5 questions, 5 minutes a day, 5 days a week.
History, pop culture, science, sports, civics. How much do you know? Let's find out.
Who was the first person to walk on the moon?
Jackson or something?
Neil Armstrong.
Take the quiz every weekday at thequiz.fox and then listen to the quiz podcast to find out how you did.
Play, share, and of course, listen to the quiz right now at thequiz.fox.
The 2 NASA astronauts who are
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's in the finals. I'm Sasha Nixon. Here's what's trending this hour. A Terre Haute man has advanced to the finals of America's Got Talent. After middle school custodian Richard Goodall auditioned with Don't Stop Believin', Judge Simon Cowell said,
Richard, you are my hero.
Facing these halls, trying to talk.
Because that was special.
The AGT Finals performances will air Tuesday on NBC, with the winner being named on September 24th. Speaking of performers, two famous brothers and Southern rock legends are teaming up for their first ever Christian rock album. Always Look Up is the forthcoming album by Van Zandt, which is made up of Lynyrd Skynyrd's Johnny Van Zandt and 38 Special's Donnie Van Zandt. Johnny Van Zandt said in a statement that he always believed in Jesus, but he wasn't saved. He said they were inspired by their father. The 11-song album is set for a November 22nd release and is available for pre-order through various platforms. But the Indiana Fever fell to the Las Vegas Aces 74-78 Friday night, even though rookie Caitlin Clark broke the WNBA record for most season assists during quarter 2.
Clark, Boston screen, fire away, hits a three.
You're hearing a game clip taken from the Indiana Fever Twitter page. During Friday's game, Clark also received her 6th technical foul after hitting a stanchion, meaning another such foul will land her a 1-game suspension. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Tonight, mostly clear, low temperatures in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies. Once again, high temperatures climbing in the mid to upper 80s. A prolonged dry stretch is likely. On Wish TV, Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I want a doll, a bike, and a new puppy.
Kids don't always ask for what they need. Give the littlest Hoosiers in your life a gift that starts today and will last forever. The gift of education. An Indiana 529 plan provides education savings for tomorrow while you enjoy generous tax benefits today. There are flexible investment options and a convenient mobile app. Get started with as little as $10 at myindiana529.com. Read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing. Sponsored by Indiana 529.
Hey, don't take your eyes off the road. Just listen. What you hear right now? Your customers hear it too. Get your message heard. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The financial advisor industry is a flawed system. Find out how to fight back and protect your retirement on Expedition Retirement. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
The Indianapolis Public Library. More than just books. Visit your local branch today.
I'm tense and nervous and I can't relax. Can't sleep cause my bed's on fire. Don't touch me, I'm a real live wire. Psycho killer.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher, the bespectacled curmudgeon. You can find my podcast uploaded to SaturdayNightOnTheCircle.fireside.fm and WIBC.com. Producer Jack is on the board, pushing the buttons and doing everything to make the show function. This segment, I wanted to do a little retrospective, of course, on 9/11 remembrance. 3 days ago, of course, was the 23rd anniversary of 9/11, which seems incredible to say. I remember reflecting when it was 18 years after the fact and then realizing there will now be a whole generation of fully grown adult human beings who were never around to see September 11th when it unfolded. Now, at the time, I was 9. Everybody remembers where they were when September 11th happened. It was a Tuesday. It was still early in the morning. At the time, I was still a Jehovah's Witness, and I wasn't going to school. I was homeschooled. So unlike many children who remember the event unfolding in class, I was in what they called the field ministry work, knocking door to door, trying to make converts. And that day, it was very quiet in the neighborhood up until the point we knocked on somebody's door and they said, quite wildly, like, "What the hell are you doing here? Don't you know America's under attack?" And then they slammed the door and went on their way. And that was kind of our clue that something was amiss. What about you, producer Jack? I know you're a couple years younger than me, but do you remember what was going on September 11th?
Yeah, I was, no, but I was like 4.
Yeah, so you were very young.
Yeah, I don't really remember It wasn't. I guess I have no memory.
So you would have memory of the immediate fallout of 9/11 because everything in your childhood would have kind of been colored by that post 9/11 world. Because at least I was 9, so I was able to remember kind of what that pre 9/11 America looked like, and then see the difference after it took place. And just for a moment, of course, I wanted to remember the tragedy, and then play a montage of kind of the events as they unfolded there on September 11th.
Somebody hit the World Trade Center, or
it's a Trade Center.
The World Trade Center. There's a fire on the upper floors.
This just in, you were looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning
that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now.
Jules, this is Ryan. Lives on an airplane that's been hijacked, and things don't go well. It's not looking good. I just want you to know I absolutely love you. I want you to do good. So happy this time. And I just totally love you, and I'll see you later. Bye, babe. Bye-bye.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
Oh, there's another one. Another plane just hit. Right. Oh my God. Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it.
Oh my goodness, there's another one.
Seems to be on purpose.
Oh my goodness. Now it's obvious, I think.
I leaned over and whispered into his right ear. A second plane hit the second tower. America is under attack.
Today we've had a national tragedy. 2 airplanes have crashed into the World Trade Center in an apparent terrorist attack on our country.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon. It would appear that there has been another major explosion, this one in the nation's capital. There is smoke in the air over the Pentagon.
And in the immediate aftermath of the terrible tragedy, the attack on September 11th, there was a unity that spread across the country that I don't think we've ever experienced since, but America was irrevocably changed. And I fear in that instant of unity, we unwisely traded our individual liberty for the illusion of security, because really after 9/11 and after that point was when the government nanny state started to snowball and grow ever larger with each passing year. Homeland Security, the Patriot Act, the NSA spying on American citizens. Does that really protect us? Does that make us safer from terrorist attack? What about the terrorists themselves? And Iran, even though, of course, Saddam Hussein was ultimately captured and executed, it remains a destabilized democracy in the Middle East. Energy prices are higher than ever. Enemies are like Iran are allowed to attack Israel with relative impunity. As Hamas terrorists have gotten out of control. The Taliban immediately retook control of Afghanistan following the withdrawal, and we left billions of dollars of military equipment behind after spending trillions of dollars and after losing thousands of American soldiers in what was ultimately a pointless conflict. And then the real people responsible, of course, most of the terrorists themselves coming from Saudi Arabia, have not been ultimately held to account. Now Saudi Arabia are relatively close allies. They have been pushing back against Russia. They are now expanding economically their influence in the United States with Live Golf, and they're allowed to kill journalists with impunity. So in that moment, we unified, but then we lost. We lost so much of America, and I'm not sure there's ever going to be taking any of it back. We've traded it away. And that saddens me greatly. And then even now, so far down the line, the tragedy itself is being underemphasized and underscored. Karine Jean-Pierre this week, of course, she confused the date, but that's not the important part from this. It actually is much worse. Let's roll the clip.
Yesterday, especially at Ground Zero in New York City, we all, I'm sure, many of us have personal stories of that day, 9/11 of 2021, and more than 2,000 lives were lost. 2,000.
Just be wrong. Just stand there in your wrongness and be wrong and get used to it.
She is undercounting by almost 1,000, by over 900. That's gross. This was a point that Tony Katz had made, actually, and I was listening to earlier in the week. Everybody is mocking her for confusing 2001 with 2021. Look, that's goofy, but that's a slip of the tongue. What's far worse is dishonoring the memory of those people whose lives were taken by undercounting the total fatalities. 2,000. It was over 2,900, of which 2,970 at least were actual victims, and then the other were hijackers. And I don't think they should be counted among the dead because they did that to themselves. Certainly not those to be mourned or missed. But that is the far worse and more sinister faux pas that was made by Karine Jean-Pierre. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. Coming up next, I wanted to talk more about the Harris v. Trump debate night and the moment that seems to have captured the conversation in America. And this, of course, is Donald Trump's remarks about immigrants eating pets in Springfield. We'll dive into that coming up next, so stay tuned to 93 WIBC.
Tony Katz. We assume that you have one of those kind of soaking tubs.
Oh, you're talking about like up at the Coco Motel. The Kokomo there.
The Coco Motel?
Yeah.
Please tell me there's a real place called the Coco Motel.
There is, yeah. I don't know if it's still there or not, but it used to be.
How was I not notified?
How have you not stayed there?
The Coco Motel?
Yeah.
Do you ever wonder how we're still on the air?
No.
Tony Katz, mornings 6 to 9 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Now that the kids have gone back to school, you're probably spending less time on vacation and out at the pool and more time indoors. You'll take a look around and see some easy DIY projects like touching up painted walls or cleaning your windows. But what about that dip in your floor? If you're starting to notice sagging or bouncy floors, the experts from Indiana Foundation Service can help. It may seem overwhelming to you, but rest assured, they are the experts on taking care of your problem. Indiana Foundation Service's certified field inspectors can come out and explain what's happening to your floors, identify your permanent crawl space solution, and provide you with a no-pressure quote. If you're ready to fix your sagging or bouncy floors, visit IndianaFoundation.com for your free inspection now. That's IndianaFoundation.com. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
Hey everybody, this is Pastor Nathan Peternell, and I'm here with Travis Rogers to tell you about the Alpha Course.
That's right, Nathan. The Alpha Course is a chance to explore life's big questions in a relaxed, friendly setting.
It's a free course that starts on Monday, September 9th at 6:30 p.m. at the Life Church Noblesville campus. Each Monday night begins with a delicious meal followed by a short video and discussion time. Alpha is the perfect place for open and honest conversations about life where no question is off limits.
You don't want to miss it. Register today at lifechurchin.com.
It's all in the numbers with Window Nation. They installed over 200,000 windows last year. That's 40 times more than the average window company. Over 20,000 online positive reviews. Do you know how hard it is to get a positive review online?
Buy 2 windows, get 2 for free. 0 down, 0 interest for 24 months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. 866-90-NATION. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure. Now 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity theft.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft. In a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it. Guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. For 17 years, my friends at Hope Plumbing have treated homes like their very own. With local owners who care deeply about this community, they put your health and safety at the forefront of their business. That's why when I need plumbing help, no matter how big or small, I only call Hope Plumbing. They care about you and your family, which is why I believe they're the very best place to take your plumbing problems. Give them a call at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE or hopeplumbing.com.
We need each other because every someone needs someone else.
We need each other because when we work together, we can do so much more.
We connect more children with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. And that's what Child Fund is all about.
Because when you make someone's world better, you make everyone's world better.
Child Fund, because we need each other.
Learn more at childfund.org. That's childfund.org.
It's JMV. Save 30% off herbaceous perennials, 50% off pottery, and 20% off patio furniture this week at Miss M's Home and Garden on State Road 135 in Bargersville.
Indy Humane. Find your new best friend today. Visit indyhumane.org.
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
If you smile.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher. Back at it once again. You can find the podcast uploaded to WIBC.com and Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. Producer Jack is on the board. This segment, I wanted to talk about what has dominated the conversation since the debate night happened. Of course, I'm talking about Donald Trump's remark that the immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, are eating the cats and dogs. Tell me, Producer Jack, you've got to have heard about this. Surely, you've surely heard about this in the Twitter sphere and amongst the general discussion.
Yeah, I've heard about it. And I don't know. I don't think you can just say that.
Well, you can, and he did right here.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country.
We're the sauce on your steak. We're the cheese in your cake. We put the spring in Springfield.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the pets in Springfield.
Do you have any evidence at all?
Well, Your Honor, we've got plenty of hearsay and conjecture. Those are kinds of evidence.
So there hasn't been a lot of coverage about people eating pets specifically in Springfield, which makes this interesting because there are a lot of incidences of dogs and cats and geese being eaten and barbecued and cooked in the vicinity of Springfield, certainly in the state of Ohio, but the mayor, Rob Rue of Springfield itself, he says, don't worry, your pets are safe.
What has this national attention done?
Well, I'd like to answer that, but I'd like to first say Springfield is still beautiful, and your pets are safe in Springfield, Ohio. Safe. So what this has done is created a negative light, obviously, that we did not look for, we did not ask for. These claims they were just untrue, and we may mention that we just don't see reports of those. There's a lot of frenzy on the internet, but this is not what we're seeing.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
He can go about his business.
You can go about your business.
Move along.
Move along. Move along.
didn't they try this Jedi mind trick already when it came to the Hunter laptop? They had 51 different former intelligence officials sign a letter that said it had all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation, and it turned out to be completely legitimate. And it wasn't so long ago that they were even denying that the community was overrun by migrants at all. But later in that interview with Cuomo, the mayor went on to say that, well, yes, the system is being overrun, but they're not eating the pets. Don't worry. So that's basically the second stage of news. First stage is there is no crisis and you are racist. Second stage is there is a crisis, but it's okay and you're racist. Third is there is a crisis, it's not okay, but you're still racist. So we're right now in the second stage. There is a crisis. We're being overwhelmed, but it's fine. They're not eating the pets. They're not eating the park animals. You're just a racist. And soon it seems like we will be moving to the third stage, that there is a crisis and it's not fine, but you're still racist for noticing. Now, like I said, there's not been a lot of documentation that I've seen coming directly from Springfield where they're eating the pets, but just a few towns away in Canton, Ohio, they did have one woman who was eating a cat just earlier this year.
What did you do? Why'd you kill the cat? Smile for me. Smile with your teeth. Go like this. Did you eat that cat? Did you eat it? No, why'd you kill it? Did you guys see all this?
No, we pulled up and she was just laying there with it.
Did you see her eating it?
Eating it.
She was eating it?
Yeah, she was.
You call the Humane Society to see if they'll come pick this cat up. It's deceased.
Like zoinks, man. This is really spooky.
Yeah, this doesn't feel safe.
Let's get out of here.
So right now they're denying it, but let's just give it a little more time. Right now we have people like our own Tony Katz, I saw, made it all the way out to Springfield. And at least according to his posts on social media earlier today, he said mostly everything looks fine. Stores are open, townspeople are out and about, having lunch, buying things, engaging with the economy, but otherwise undisturbed by the reports of cats. Eating cats and dogs, although apparently there were some claims of eating geese and eating park animals. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk with Tony Katz and what he found in Springfield sometime next weekend for the show. But of course, if that is true, then Trump would have an amazing opportunity for a campaign ad to capitalize on this crisis.
I was skeptical at first, but when I heard Trump was saving cats, I knew he had the perfect plan for America.
He's a hero in my book. If he can save Fluffy, I know he's got the guts to lead this country.
While they're having Fluffy for dinner in Haiti, Trump's out here rescuing cats like a true hero.
Well, shoot, they might be eating cats over in Haiti, but round here, Trump's saving them like he's Noah on the ark.
Mommy always says Trump is like a cowboy on a big adventure, finding all the scared kitties and helping them.
Like a cowboy on an adventure there, producer Jack. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's an opportunity there, let's say, and people in America love their pets. So I think if anything like that is happening, there will be outrage, to say the least. Again, we live in a ridiculous timeline. Now, I think though that by focusing on the eating of the pets, we may be missing a broader point about the migrant crisis, which is the violent crime that has been allowed by the unfiltered and unlimited migration across our southern border, resulting in terrible deaths like Laken Riley. Has that name been forgotten so soon? It shouldn't be. And I think that is perhaps a stronger point. There are other deaths in the community right there in Springfield, like Aiden Clark, who was struck while he was riding a school bus on the first day of school by a Haitian migrant last year in August. who was driving at a high rate of speed and actually flipped the whole school bus over with his minivan. Now, not only was he an illegal immigrant, but he was, of course, very clearly unlicensed, so he shouldn't have been here in the first place, and he didn't have the license to drive. So this is the fallout of migrant crime, but so inundated with guilt have liberals programmed you to be that actually the father of the victim, of Aiden Clark, stepped forward with his wife this week. They made a prepared statement. And before the city council, this was what he had to say.
You know, I wish that my son, Aiden Clark, was killed by a 60-year-old white man. Ooh. And I bet you never thought anyone would ever say something so blunt. But if that guy had killed my 11-year-old son, the incessant group of hate-spewing people would leave us alone.
Very poor choice of words.
Now, I can understand not wanting to relive the tragedy of your son's death over and over and be reminded of it on a daily basis. But blunt is not the terminology I would use for that statement. Warped is the terminology that I would use. Why would anyone wish for their son to be killed by anyone or anything in any way? And you're not racist for noticing the outcome, the fallout of illegal immigration. And to point that out is not a problem. And I think that deaths like that are what should be used as the primary example rather than the speculative reports of people eating pets or park animals. Like I said, I've seen some interesting video footage from surrounding communities in Ohio that would seem to show, pets getting barbecued. But, it's really the violent crime that at the end of the day, we have the most to fear. So thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. Stay tuned for more. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Harris-Trump debate and what a former top Clinton advisor is claiming Harris got ahead of the debate. We'll tell you more about that coming up next, so stay tuned.
Kendall and Casey.
Hours upon hours of them telling you how great Joe Biden is, then telling you in the same speeches how screwed up things are in the country. How can both of these things be true?
Yes, we love you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. You've done so much for the country. Now get out.
Kendall and Casey, weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Here for Premier Arms in Brownsburg. This is your premier gun store. Premier Arms has the experience and know-how to help the new gun buyer and the most experienced marksman. They've been in business for over 20 years and have a friendly, knowledgeable staff that wants to help you, not talk down to you. Premier Arms in Brownsburg is family-friendly, so bring the kids. All ages are welcome. Everyone can find what they're looking for at Premier Arms in Brownsburg, 3754 South Green Street. Online at premierarms.com. Tell them Tony Ketch sent you. premierarms.com.
Barrington Jewels believes in the timeless value of exquisite craftsmanship. Discover stunning collections for engagements, weddings, and more. Whether you're looking for the perfect diamond or a unique pre-owned piece, the expert staff at Barrington Jewels is here to guide you. Visit today to find the jewelry that will last a lifetime. Visit Barrington Jewels today or shop online at barringtonjewels.com. And remember, you haven't seen a diamond until you've seen a Barrington diamond.
Business owners and IT professionals, what is your goal today? Protecting your data, hardware removal and recycling, or ethical landfill-free recycling? Technology Recyclers is R2, Rios, and NAID certified. 100% landfill-free. We come to your business, provide a free pickup anywhere in Indiana, pick up your e-waste, and ensure 100% data destruction. One call, easy, safe, ethical recycling, and data destruction. Visit Technology Recyclers at tech-recyclers.com or call 1-800-237-3887.
Do you need air conditioning service and want to find a local American Standard air dealer you can trust, like Absolute Comfort? Find that dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at GotYour6.org.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Sundown Gardens, Hamilton County's fall nursery headquarters.
Fox News, I'm Ann Carrick. Hundreds of Hamas tunnels run between Gaza and Egypt under the Philadelphia corridor.
For decades, these tunnels have been used for smuggling. But now the IDF says Hamas terrorists are emerging from these tunnels to fire long-range rockets at Israel and then retreat back into the tunnel for defense purposes.
Fox's Nate Foy. A study on Havana syndrome shut down after a report indicated some patients may have been coerced to participate. Fox's Jennifer Griffin.
The initial patient showing Havana syndrome symptoms raised concerns that the CIA was including people who did not fit the profile, resulting in watered-down data. The CIA said its inspector general has been made aware of the findings.
The NIH suggesting a lack of evidence to link symptoms to attacks. America's listening to Fox News.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with 0 experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Contact Zerorez now for 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $119 and take $75 off air duct cleaning. Book online at zeroresindy.com for huge savings.
We may be thousands of miles apart, but we can still connect. And when we do, we make things better. At Child Fund, we connect children all around the world with what they need to grow up healthy, educated, and safe. Together, we co-create connections that help millions of children who live in poverty worldwide, and their families, and their communities, and you. Join us. Together, we can make the world a better place. 2 small worlds at a time. Visit childfund.org to learn more.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
In a white room with black curtains near the station. Black roof country, no gold pavement, tired starlings.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher. Thanks for listening to the program. If you miss a moment of the show, you can, of course, find the podcast uploaded to WIBC.com, and you can see us streaming live on the YouTube machine. We got the camera up. The chat room is on, and the chats are lively as usual, so make sure to stop in and say hello. This week, a former top Clinton advisor has claimed that Harris got sample questions ahead of the ABC debate. Now, that seems entirely reasonable because if anyone watched the debate, it was very clear that it was 3-on-1. It was Harris and the 2 moderators versus Donald Trump. And now, Mark Penn, a former top advisor to Bill and Hillary Clinton, called on Thursday for ABC to launch a formal internal investigation into the news division's planning and execution of the presidential debate to determine if there was some effort at rigging the outcome of the debate. And it would seem that many people, both Republicans and Democrats, have reacted negatively to ABC's performance. Now, on some level, Donald Trump should have expected this and prepared a little harder for it, considering that I believe he's involved in an active defamation suit against ABC. Of course, they would have some animus against him and a desire to put their thumb on the scale and influence the outcome of the election, if not for their own pride's sake, then, of course, for the partisan connection that mainstream media tends to foster. That being said, other things that happened this week after the debates, it wasn't too long before Taylor Swift, a woman who has made her entire career off of singing about bad choices she has made in relationships, of course, wanted to telegraph to the world that she has now endorsed Kamala Harris, which seems to be another bad choice to me. Now, I'm curious from your perspective, producer Jack, how much do these celebrity endorsements matter? Do they ultimately mean anything? If Taylor Swift, like, are you a big Taylor Swift fan at all, or are you a fan of another musician? Who's your favorite musician? How about that?
It's like not a well-known musician.
It doesn't matter. Who is he?
Probably Saruda.
Saruda. Okay, so if Saruda comes out tomorrow and says, to all my fans, all my followers, including producer Jack, you should support Kamala Harris. Does that make a difference to you if Saruda thinks you should vote VP Harris? Would you take that seriously?
Probably not. No.
And that's the head scratcher to me. You know, if your vote is ultimately being influenced and swayed by celebrity, you probably shouldn't be voting in the first place. Like, there's definitely better reasons to vote for somebody than just because celebrity endorsement. But that being said, obviously Donald Trump is not above the same tactic, because at a Las Vegas rally out in Nevada, he had none other than Pawn star Rick Harrison come out onto the stage with him. He endorsed Trump and had a few things to say himself.
We all want to raise our kids, go to our own church, make sure our kids do better than we do. Okay, and the government just get the hell out of the way. You have the Democrats and Harris, they literally want to just micromanage our entire lives from cradle to grave. And you know what? I think I know what's best for me. I think you know what's best for you. And what the best thing is for this country is Donald Trump. I mean, if we have 4 more years of this insanity, and I love it when Kamala Harris says on day one she's going to do this and this and this, when, so just do it. You're there already. I mean, like, literally, you could go into the White House and do it, and Biden wouldn't even know you were doing it.
Oh, yes! 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 Oh, yes! 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 Yes!
So there was Pawn star Rick Harrison pointing out what I think many people have also concluded: whether or not you like Donald Trump as a person, whether or not you agree with every element of his policy positions, if the choice is between Donald Trump or Kamala Harris and all the baggage that comes with her, including a continued evaporation of economic strength in America and continued deterioration of our military, and our stature across the globe, continued deterioration of the supply chain and our southern border, all the things that are associated with her. Obviously, I think, yes, we have came to a similar conclusion that Rick Harrison has reached, that Donald Trump is the preferable option. But that said, I'm not supporting Donald Trump just because Rick Harrison has come forward and said, you should vote for Donald Trump. I like the Pawn Stars, or at least I used to. That was a fun show on History Channel back in the day. Did you ever watch Pawn Stars, producer Jack, there, or was that not your cup of tea?
Yeah, I did, and it's like prime years.
Right, and back in its prime, like when it just first started coming on the air, when was that? Like 2000? Let's Google that real quick. When did Pawn Stars first air?
was like
2009. So yeah, that is just after Barack Obama came into office. July 19th, 2009 was the first episode of Pawn Stars. Good show. I guess it doesn't surprise me that Harrison and family would support the Trumpster. But again, the value of celebrity endorsement somewhat limited, although everyone all the time trying to leverage celebrities and their opinion and get them to make some kind of remark. And here's an interaction where I think it was a Variety magazine interviewer was conversing with Elton John and just trying to goad him into taking a dump on the former president. And he gave him the opportunity and was quickly rebuffed. Elton John, turns out, values his position as an entertainer for the masses and doesn't want to take a partisan side.
I know that you're not a supporter of Donald Trump's. He loves your music. How did it feel when he took the lyrics to Rocket Man and he used it as a nickname for Kim Jong-un, and then he gave Kim Jong-un...
I laughed. I thought it was brilliant. I just thought, good on you, Donald. I'm the Rocket Man, yeah.
Oh, no, gorgeous disappointed.
Donald's always been a fan of mine, and he's been to my concerts many, many times. So, I mean, I've always been friendly towards him, and I thank him for his support. Yeah, when he did that, I just thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh.
He gave Kim one of your CDs and signed it. That was in one of the books about him, because Kim, I guess, didn't know the song, so...
What's that?
He gave Kim Jong-un the signed CD,
yes.
Which
yeah.
he'd never heard of it.
I know, because he hasn't heard of me, Kim Jong-un. I'd be very surprised if he had. I've never toured North Korea, and I have no intention of doing so. But I thought it was a light moment, and it was fun.
Has anyone ever noticed that there's just no happiness on the left? They're not happy. They're not happy people, and for good reason.
So the reporter, of course, was quite miserable that his opportunity to dump all over Donald Trump was dashed by Elton John, who just wants to perform. And, he likes money. I don't know if you were aware of this, producer Jack. Elton John famously played for the wedding of Rush Limbaugh. So he is no great antagonist to right-wing political characters.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but yeah, I think it's kind of like a smart move just to stay out of it.
Of course, especially if you're an entertainer, like, and the reporter, kind of dipped into, like, personally, Elton John, obviously not a political fan of Donald Trump, but when it comes to entertainment, heck yeah, I'll take your money. And he's not going to dump all over you in the process, because it is much better for entertainers to maintain a broad appeal. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. One segment to go. Bad news for the United States. The scales are tipping as we have now become the fattest we've ever been. We'll talk about that coming up next. Stay tuned.
Hammer and Nigel.
In Detroit, Kamala rolls out this bizarre accent.
You better thank a union member for sick leave. You better thank a union member for paid leave.
I would love it if that's how she talked in meetings. Kamala Harris goes up there sounding like Foghorn Leghorn. I'll say, somebody better turn the Fox News off the television.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Business. It's not a 9-to-5 proposition. It's all day and into the night. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these businesses is a partner like Comcast Business helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide. All these businesses choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business. From Main Street to Wall Street, our people are powering the businesses that power it all. So when you're ready to unlock what's possible for your business, there's no one better to answer the call. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
Indy, tired of using the fall to paint your house year after year? Then do what Deanna did. She called Rhino Shield.
I was noticing some cracks and the paint's faded. I was like, okay, I think I should get my house painted. So my neighbor had a Rhino Shield placard in the yard. And after they were finished, I was just, wow. With the warranty and everything, it just seemed silly not to go that route.
The ceramic coating of Rhino Shield is specifically formulated for our climate.
So the Rhino Shield crew came out. Nothing was damaged in the process. I was very happy. You couldn't even tell they were there. And the house looked so different. It just looked like a new home.
And right now, Indy, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price. Plus, there's more great news. Rhino Shield has partnered with Green Sky Financing to offer affordable monthly payments with 0% interest loans to qualified customers.
I think it increases the curb appeal of your home. Definitely worth it.
Here's Rhino Shield Shane Smith.
Call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint. Go Rhino.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Attention all Hoosiers, a historically important election is headed our way. The time to prepare for the election is now. Are you registered to vote? Do you have a plan to vote? The Indiana Secretary of State's office wants to remind you, registering to vote or updating your registration is fast, easy, and can be done online at indianavoters.com. You must be registered 30 days before Election Day, so get registered and get out to vote. This message is sponsored by the Indiana Secretary of State's office.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
My plan is to linger with you.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
At the end of the day.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saturday Night on the Circle, just winding things up here for this evening's episode. Glad to spend the time with you, and thanks for listening to my show on a Saturday evening. I know you probably have more fun places to be, but I always have a lot of fun sharing this time on the air with you, my audience, and chatting with people in the YouTube chat. So if you're ever inclined, feel free to hop in and join the conversation while we stream the show live every Saturday night from 7 to 9. I love seeing you guys in there. This segment, I want to talk about how the United States is losing the Battle of the Bulge. We have now gotten to be the fattest we've ever been, according to the CDC. They define obesity as having a body mass index of at least 30, and shockingly, 1 in 5 or 20% of Americans meet that criteria, with the Midwest and the South reporting highest levels of weight. And I've been walking around Indianapolis. I see you. I see you people out there. I myself was wandering fatty not so long ago. I lost 60 pounds a couple of years ago when I went on the diet. And it's important to do. You know, it's important to drop that body mass index down. You want to have a long and a healthy life. The condition is on the rise worldwide as well, not just the United States. WHO, the World Health Organization, reporting the percentage of adults 18 years and older living with obesity has more than doubled from 7 to 16% from 1990 to 2022. Prior to 2013, no state in the union had an adult obesity prevalence at or above 35%. However, 23 states have hit that dark mark within the last decade. So almost half of us are living in the United States are living in a state with 35% or above adults with obesity. And look, you know, there's a lot of things that factor into that, and some of that has to do with the automation and convenience that modern life provides. You need shockingly few calories to actually function, and you only needed those 3 big meals a day when we were laborers in the field, which historically speaking was not that long ago. I think something like 90% of Americans worked in agriculture prior to 1900, and it's only decreased significantly since then. We live a much more sedentary lifestyle, and so you need less calories to consume. It's really just a matter of simple mathematics. If you eat fewer calories than your body requires to function, you will burn fat, you will lose weight. Trust me, I've done it. I've done it without having to, do extra exercise or, gym, just by controlling your calorie limit. And that's when you learn how few calories you need in the modern life. Now, when they didn't have a lot of fat people around was 1947 for a variety of reasons. Of course, it was culturally not in style yet. They didn't have as many processed foods. They were just coming out of a war and a Great Depression on top of it. And this was a comic song from 1947.
Here's a silly ditty, you can sing it right away. Now here is what you say, so sing it while you may. Here's a silly jingle, you can sing it night or noon. Here's the words, that's all you need, 'cause I just sang the tune. Oh, I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat for me, she's too fat for me. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me. She's too fat, she's too fat, she's too fat for me. I get dizzy, I get numbo when I'm dancing with my jumbo. I don't want her, you can have her, she's too fat for me.
Now, see, this song is more applicable today now than it was in 1947 when it was first released by Arthur Godfrey, except now I don't think people would tolerate that. That song's a little politically incorrect. Wouldn't you agree there, producer Jack? In the modern age, millennials aren't putting up with it.
Yeah, I could see Family Guy kind of making a parody of this or something.
That would be great. And Seth MacFarlane actually has pretty good taste in old music, so I can totally see it happen. Before we close out the show, a couple weeks ago I had talked about they were returning old discontinued favorite, Tangerine Sours. They're remaking the Altoids classic. It's supposed to be just exclusively sold in Cracker Barrel, but it is marked to be sold by other retailers as well. I found this on Amazon.com, and before the show ended, I wanted to give you, producer Jack, an opportunity to try the tangy treat that is the Tangerine Altoid Sour. Go ahead and grab a few for yourself. Don't grab the silicone packet there. That's inedible. I'll take one, too. What do you think? Makes your lips pucker.
Yeah, I like it. It's has a little bit of a punch at first, but it tastes good.
It tastes good. And then after the malic acid coating wears off, it leaves you with that nice kind of sweet tangerine base. Yeah. And it has a very good satisfying orange flavor as well. I got these off of Amazon.
Yeah,
I bought 3 tins.
They should be sold at CVS or Walgreens too and stuff.
Yeah, you're right. I could totally see a CVS audience picking this up for sure.
Yeah.
Love this stuff. So if you, like myself, missed your Altoids Tangerine Sours, you can find these Sour Drops Tangerine Sours. They're made in California. The one that is being revived by iconic candy brands, and I couldn't tell whether this is the same thing. On the press release, they pictured this tin, but then I saw an alternate tin. So I don't know, but either way, this recipe is darn close and worth a try, especially if you missed the taste.
Yeah, I like it.
I leave you with my parting words of wisdom, as always, wherever you are, whoever you're with, whatever you're doing. Remember that life is a state of mind. See you next week.
This could be one of the most consequential votes of our lifetime.
Who will be our next governor?
U.S. Senator.
Our next president? Who will represent us in the General